Well, we have a bit of an active Saturday evening. We have a couple of thunderstorms that are working their way through our general region along the line of a cold front that is kicking these up right now, and that's having heavy downpours, localized high winds, and some places even seeing some hail with that. But I also want to stress the fact that there is a tornado watch for some of our southern counties active until 9 p.m. So places like Huron, De Smet, Brookings are under that watch right now. And once again, this lasts until 9 p.m. on Saturday evening, and that's the best potential for the storms. Now, watch, once again, means that conditions are right for something to form, but it has not yet formed. So just make sure that you're being aware that these are potentials as we do look through the general region. All right, once you start to plan ahead, here is the last 3 hours, and you could really start to see these things pop, especially around that 3 p.m. hours when they started building. Around 4 p.m., we're still watching these guys slowly work their way to the east-northeast at about 35 to 40 miles an hour, once again offering heavy downpours and areas of some hail as well. Now, expand this loop out to 12 hours. We did have areas that potentially saw a couple light little drops during the course of the morning, but as into the afternoon, when we got that heat during the midday, that gave the energy for these afternoon storms to begin firing up. And secondary, once again, that cold front working its way on through our general region. So here we go. That's the warm front this morning. We had that slight time of heating during the midday that offered us peaks of the sun every now and then. That offered the heat to drive these storms. And now we're having this cold front start to kick off a couple of thunderstorms through the general region. Over the course of this Saturday morning, it was on the warmer side, only into the mid-60s. I mean, here on 65 degrees, Aberdeen at 64 degrees, in Watertown, you're at 62 degrees across the board. Warm and close or above that 80-degree mark, really, really dependent on how much sun you ended up seeing. So places with more cloud cover, we're hampered slightly, and that's why Brookings, Watertown only saw 79 degrees versus other places like Aberdeen, 86 degrees. They saw a little bit more sun throughout the course of the day. All right, expand this view out and give you an idea of what to expect over these next couple of days. Now that these thunderstorms have passed on through, the good news is that we are actually in for a couple of nice days. So what we're expecting is these are overnight thunderstorms that continue well up across Minnesota. They move out of the region. On the backside of this low pressure system, we could spin down a couple little scattered showers here and there. For the most part, we are going to remain relatively dry, and we're going to stay that way, especially Monday and Tuesday as this high pressure system comes in. That's going to warm us back up into the 80s. In fact, Tuesday is looking to have a high temperature of 88 degrees, but because of the fact if we get more sunshine, there is even a potential of seeing 90 degrees on the forecast. Once again, through the course of the night, these systems leave after midnight. Tuesday or Sunday, we could see a couple little stray showers here and there, but then Monday and Tuesday is looking phenomenal in terms of overall weather. Here we can see the winds. Now, these will be out of the northwest as we start to plan ahead over these next couple of days. For the most part, really tapering back, nothing too strong to worry about, and just going to be very pleasant days on the horizon. But for tonight, we do have to watch for rebuild up of a couple of thunderstorms moving through the region. For the most part, it's a consistent line, but there is a potential for a couple more to come on through. These do leave after that midnight hour into the early morning hour. So the rain that you see there is roughly before midnight and earlier. After that, it begins to leave out of the general region. Then we follow 60 degrees for a low winds out of the west, 15 miles an hour. For Sunday, there will be times of sun and clouds. So it might be cloudy for part of the day. It might be sunny for part of the day. But we can also not factor out a stray shower. All in all, we're going to reach a high temperature of 78 degrees, so enjoy it. And then once we start to look ahead through the week, Monday and Tuesday, phenomenal days. Back into the low 80s for Monday, upper 80s for Tuesday, and there's even the potential, like I said, for 90 degrees on Tuesday, depending on how much sun we end up getting and how strong the wind is. But then we have additional cloud covers begin to build back in, and then Thursday through the weekend, we are watching for some systems to start welling their way up back into our region, and those are going to kick off the potentials for thunderstorms, some rain, and all this fun stuff starts once again. All right. Well, I'm meteorologist Colin Raskowitz with the Watertown Weather Watch forecast. Thank you much for joining me, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend.